Good morning, happy holidays to everybody. Peace and blessings. Real quick, I wanted to just wish everyone a truly wonderful holiday season. However that you celebrate it, I hope you do it with family and loved ones, and that you enjoy yourself. That's what I'm planning to do. But I was talking to some friends about this new proposed tax bill. Well, actually, the tax bill that they're trying to sign into law, which is almost done. And again, I've been talking about it and saying that it is not good for working class people, and I still say that it's not good for working class people. But they're breaking down some of the things that are going to happen. People are going to lose standard deductions now in your houses. Businesses are going to get a reduction in the amount of taxes they pay, and they're going to get credit for when they bring more jobs back from overseas back to America, which is never a bad thing. But will they be decent wages, and are these companies are they actually going to spend the money that they save reinvesting in their companies, or are they going to continue to put their money in their stock account, they're tucked it away in their offshore accounts? To date, that's usually what happens with corporations. If it gives a business owner a chance to save some money or put his money back into his pocket, how many of you work for a company or have a landlord that when they have a windfall, they share it with you? Not saying that they have to by law, because they certainly don't, and that's my point. When you give somebody the opportunity to hold on to something or to give it away and share that, in America, what typically happens? Now, I'm not saying there's just no generous people out there, because there certainly is a lot of generous people. But for the most part, corporations, though, and it's a business understanding that when you have a savings, you save that money. The only time, and when you want to reinvest, businesses take out business loans to raise capital. They don't go into their savings because they have to pay stockholders dividends, and everybody who invests wants to get paid first. So trickle down economics, it does not work for that matter. It just doesn't. And when you take your government services that we all depend on, every last person in the United States depends on government services of one way or another. And people hear entitlements saying that, for some reason we just think about people on welfare getting food stamps. And let me just say this. People need help, they need help. They need help and they're on food stamps because they don't earn enough money. Who knows their situation about their job? Maybe it's just not a good job. Maybe they're falling on hard times. I don't know. But I know back in the early 90s when I was on active duty, I know several of my shipmates that were getting food stamps. And these were petty officers, third-class petty officers, E4s, that were working in the military active duty and were on food stamps because they just didn't make enough money. So there you have it. But people, your minds get fooled, and you hear something, you think poor people, lazy people sitting around collecting your tax dollars, which I'm sure that's the case sometimes, but it definitely isn't all the time. I just shared an example of you with people that I used to work with in the military who were on public assistance because they just did not earn enough in active duty military. True story. I guess it was in 1992. Another thing is the fact that when we reduce the amount of money that our government takes in, our government services, they will suffer. Your fire departments, police departments, schools, yes, some of the food stamp programs and whatever they're called, SNAP, whatever, Social Security, things like that people legitimately earn, become in jeopardy. Then local services that you and I depend on a daily, they become weakened. Meanwhile, the fat cats on Wall Street and everywhere else, and again, take their money. They're not affected by these changes because they have isolated themselves one way or another. Some of it is good old hard-earned money, and that's cool. Some of it's inherited, that's fine too. I'm not about redistributing anybody's wealth, but what I am saying is the people that are already established in this country and actually show that they are willing to do less to make America better and hold on to their money, why should they continue to be rewarded when you have people that are struggling to raise families and educate themselves and their families so that they can become productive, contributing citizens in America? Part of this Donald Trump tax bill is that he's taking away people to get stipends for grad school, which is money that comes from the university that they're at, They never see that money, but the money pays for that tuition as these individuals go on to further their education and become more productive in America. Now I ask you, why would you tax that person? Why? Because there's a person struggling who's getting money from the university, but they're not actually touching the money. It just goes into one account, pays their tuition, and they keep on moving. They keep becoming educated. They become more productive. So now you want to tax that money as well. So take the money away from the people who can least afford it to give more money to the people who don't need it. It's trickle-down economics, and it does not work. Donald Trump is a big, fat, loudmouth, disgusting, indecent human being. And if he was right here, I'd say it to his face. I would. That's how I feel about that, because it's the truth. When someone continues to say and do what he does for a very, to use his terms, because he's very limited in what his vocabulary is, he's shown us this behavior since the 70s. Very narcissistic person, and he is a male chauvinist pig. Listen, I don't care if he is elected to office or not. He ain't my president, and I earn the right to say what the hell I want to about who I want to in this country under my constitutional right. So with that being said, it's no secret. There's no love lost for me, and Trump never was. As a public citizen, I could care less what he does as a public citizen. But now he supposedly represents this country, and I find it very shameful. I find his tactics very disgusting. I find his policy and rhetoric just uncouth and unwanted. So back to the original message. This tax bill is yet to be seen what's going to happen, but it does not look good for the working class people in America. And when you find your services start to being cut back as an American tax-paying citizen, this bill right here that's passed 2017, we'll go back to this. We'll revisit this in about a year or two, and we'll see how the country's doing. Honestly, I hope everybody's doing better. I seriously doubt it, though, based on the historical precedents that's happened under Reagan and under Bush with this trickle-down economics. It doesn't work. It simply is bad math.